Hey yo guys, welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews. And today, we're looking at the brand new album from Marilyn Manson, Heaven Upside Down. So yo, both of us are super hyped for this album. We know this doesn't quite fit right into the metal genre, but we can't pass this up. Even though there's other albums coming out this week, we won't mention them right now, that are definitely more metal than this. We're both such huge Manson fans that we chose to do this one instead. We're going to look at those other albums a little later on, but for now, we're going to dive into Heaven Upside Down. So, I mean, you're hype.
Oh, very hype.
I'm hype.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know.
Ready for this.
Pale Emperor, we both agree that Pale Emperor is a god tier album.
God tier, that album.
Honestly, highly underrated. A lot of people dismissed it right away. But that album is it's a piece of art. It's definitely on another level, better than the last several albums he's put out. Born Villain was really good in my opinion too, though. But it took me listening to and appreciating Pale Emperor to go back to Born Villain and being like, wow, this is actually really good.
That's how powerful Pale Emperor was.
Yeah. So a lot of people dismiss Pale Emperor, but I have high hopes for this new album today. I've heard the two singles, We Know Where You Fucking Live and Kill For Me. You have not heard Kill For Me
I
yet?
have not heard Kill For Me. I've only heard We Know Where You Fucking Live. We also reacted to the music video for We Know Where You Fucking Live, so go check that out.
Check that out.
I got, from that song and from some of the things I read that Manson said about this album being a lot, sharper, harder around the edges, I'm really hyped for some stronger stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it lyrically. I have some things I'd like to say about it lyrically already based on the two songs I've heard already. But we'll get into that, when we get more into our first impressions. But right now, we're going to go listen to the album for the first time it's in entirety, front to end. And then, we'll be back and give you guys our first impressions on this album. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a little bit. Hey yo guys, welcome back. We just finished listening to Heaven Upside Down from Marilyn Manson. And we're going to give you guys our first impressions now. So I'm going to start off by talking about a song that I thought was not that great. One of my least favorite on the album. Overall, let me just put out there that I did enjoy the album for the most part. But there was a couple low points. One of those low points was Say 10, which originally was the song we thought the album was named after.
Yeah.
It was the one we got the teaser for last year. I felt this song, it started off with a cool kind of thing. It had this industrial whisper rap kind of vibe to it, and I was like, oh, this is cool, this is different, he's going for kind of a different thing here. But then it just kind of fell flat. I felt like the chorus was a little boring. The verses were meh. There was one thing in the song that stood out to me and that I liked, and that was a clever wordplay on the lyrics, where he said, I don't know what the whole lyric was, but the clever part was cocaine enable. So it's is he saying cocaine enable, or is it a play on Cain and Abel? It's obviously a play on words. Don't know exactly what it means or what it's supposed to be actually referencing, but that was pretty much the only highlight of the song as far as I can tell from listening to it one time. I think the song has potential to grow on me and stuff like that, so it wasn't bad per se. It's just pretty much my lowest rated song. It was definitely a little bit of a buzz killer compared to the other songs that came before it. But a song that I'll talk about that I really liked. Now this isn't my favorite song, but I'll talk about my favorite song after if I have time. But Jesus Crisis was, I would say, my second favorite song after my first listen to. This song was just crazy. It was cool. It was pumping. It had groovy bass lines, which was a pretty consistent theme on this album. Very, very groovy album. You hear a lot of really groovy bass lines. We'll put Shaft to shame. You know who Shaft is. I don't know if some of you younger guys might not know. Shaft is even before my time, but at least I know who it is. But there's this breakdown in the middle of the song where the guitar does this weird thing that reminded me of Scabs, Guns, and Peanut Butter from Smells Like Children. Some old school shit. And then all of a sudden it just breaks down. Now, I'm not talking like a metalcore breakdown. You can't throw down. You can't do a two-step dance or nothing like that to it. But for Manson, it was definitely a breakdown,
Yeah.
and I thought it sounded really cool.
It caught me by surprise. I didn't really
Caught
expect
us
something
both,
like
both
that.
by surprise. Yeah, it was pretty rad. And the whole song in general, like, I don't really know what else to say about it. Like I said, we only listened to it once, so it's hard to really remember everything you hear. But that one stood out to me as one of the better songs, Jesus Crisis. But overall, man, this album it rocked. It rocked pretty good. Some highs and lows, which is, you know, you come to expect that. But overall, I think it was a pretty good first impression. But you can go ahead and tell me about your, I guess, least favorite, most favorite, whatever.
All right, so my least favorite from this album was the title track, Heaven Upside Down.
Yeah.
When this song came on, for some reason, you know, you did mention this album is very groovy, and I feel the same way, but this song, I felt, was just kind of, you know, bummed out. You know, I wrote, it sticks out kind of like a sore thumb. You know, you
Yeah.
have all these kind of synthesizers and all this, you know, kind of really industrial sounding music before it,
Yep.
but then rhythmically, this song kind of sounds like it should be on the Pale Emperor.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like, it felt out of place.
Yeah,
The rest of the album's very synth orientated, very industrial sounding, and this song, like you said, it's very like more acoustic sounding and less digital, less synthy, less industrial.
yeah.
And
So
sounds like it would fit more on Pale Emperor for sure.
it didn't really, you know, click with me too much. It's just kind of the groove. It keeps going. It wasn't really jumping at me like a few other songs did.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why, you know, this song, cause it's just like, you know, we get Blood Honey, Jesus Christ, all this stuff, and then this starts, and I'm just.
It's also weird that the title track is the one that stands out, like it doesn't belong on the album.
Yeah, that's kind of unusual.
It's kind of weird.
It's just odd there, but that's just how it went for me. So one of my favorites is go all the way back to the top, Revelation 12. Wow.
Yeah.
This song, you know, reminded me a lot of Irresponsible Hate Anthem from Antichrist Superstar. I got
Oh, yeah.
very similar vibe, you know, and the
Oh, yeah.
energy that was building, the attitude of this
The
song.
intro was very similar.
Exactly. The intro really stood out to me, just like, oh man, we're going back to 1996.
Yeah.
Buckle up. So I really liked that, and I really liked how it opened the album that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was common through my notes of this whole album. You know, I like the sounding riff. I like the groove. Groove.
Yeah.
That was so prominent
groovy
on this album.
Yeah.
Throughout so many tracks, it was happening a lot.
A lot of good bass lines.
Another common note that I was writing through this album is that I like how full it sounds. I like how there's all the space is taken up. If it's not by the band, it's by all the synthesized sounds that are going on.
Or even the vocals,
Or-
layered vocals.
Exactly, the layered vocals, which is kind of a staple for Marilyn Manson. You hear
Yeah.
that in all of his
He
music.
sounds great though. He
Yeah,
sounds great. I
He
mean,
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
This album, from my first impression, it's Marilyn Manson, but he's still venturing into new things that he hasn't really done before.
Yeah.
So you can put this album on and be like, oh yeah, that's Manson, but also, you know, like Jesus Christ, be like, oh shit, what was that? That was new.
It definitely feels like vintage Marilyn Manson. You know, you got all those elements that you know and love with the band, musically, musicianship wise. These guys are still playing great, but there's fresh elements peppered throughout the whole album, which obviously is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
And another thing to mention, you talked about Say 10 being one of your least favorite. I
Yeah.
felt very similar, and you know, this track was teased back last year in around November-ish, and I felt that teaser, at the time I felt that teaser, what if, is that the whole song? Is that what that is? And when the song came on, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
that was pretty much it.
The whole song is basically compressed into that teaser.
Yeah, that
pretty
teaser
much.
sums up the entire song, which was a pretty big letdown for me. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, what if there's something else to this song that's gonna blow my mind? But it was really just kind of going, and that's what it was. Very, very straightforward in that sense. Another song to mention that I think we both really enjoyed was "Tattooed in Reverse."
Oh fuck yeah!
Jeez, that song was really
that song was just epic, man. Like, you couldn't make a better song. That to me is like what a perfect song is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it almost had this rap quality to it, which you can tell Marilyn Manson's trying to appease to this like rapper type of demographic or something like that with the imagery and the style he's been portraying over the past several years. But this song's just gritty, super hard. Like I said, it's got this rap vibe. There's this breakup in the treble that allows the bass to bump, and it's just a really cool pattern in the music that I really loved. Epic song. I mean, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to listening to it again. We've only heard it once, and I freaking loved it. You loved it too, I could tell.
Dude,
we
it
were
was
both
sick.
like,
We're
holy
just
crap.
sitting there.
Like, wow, this is
Like, is this
awesome.
for real right now?
Yeah, and like when we listen to music, we listen to it pretty damn loud. I turned this up a few more notches.
Oh yeah.
I turned it up a few more notches just because it was hitting that hard, and I was like, wow, let's fucking bump this, bam, bam. So, dude, I'm looking like, yo, after this, we're probably gonna go listen to that again.
Oh yeah.
That song first.
Sick.
So, but yeah, I mean, overall though, first impressions, I'm pretty happy with what I've heard.
Yep, I feel the same way.
There's some low points, like I said. Another low, like Saturnalia was pretty boring to me. That's the longest song on the album.
Yeah, I felt like, you know, the entire intro was 1 minute. This was an 8-minute song, and the intro took up an entire minute. It kind of just kept going. There weren't really that many drastic changes in this song.
I feel like the first 5.5 minutes was good. At that point, it should have ended. The rest of the song, it started to feel like it was too long at that point. It should have just ended it. But you know what? We got a whole week to listen to this album now.
Oh yeah, there's so many of the lower points in this album I feel have great potential to grow.
They do. That's the thing, right? That's why you got to give it a chance. That's why we do it this way, and we give albums a chance before we do our final review.
Exactly.
Which will be next week. So, as usual, we're going to take the week to listen to this album. Non-stop on full rotation.
Backwards, forwards, shuffled, doesn't matter. We're going to be listening to the whole thing.
All kinds of stuff.
All over the place.
And then, yeah, we'll be back next week with our final review of Heaven Upside Down by Marilyn Manson. So be sure to come back then. Hit that subscribe button, you guys. Like this video. Comment below and let us know what you guys think of Heaven Upside Down. And we'll see you guys next time. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
Later.